Have you ever heard of something called death feederism?
No, but play the intro because I really hope that you're going to tell me what death feederism is.
I actually thought you might know what it is because you have an odd sort of Rolodex in your brain of people's weird kinks. You are not a kinky guy.
No. But I do like kinks. I do like that people have kinks. I love...
You're fascinated by them.
I am fascinated.
Yeah.
It's like fanatics for me, like people who are fanatical about something or someone. I'm interested in it because I don't have one myself.
So in saying that, you are also someone who says, I'm not going to kink shame.
No.
That's in your vocab.
Yeah, I don't want to... As long as it's not hurting anyone, if two people are into it and they're both consenting, go for it.
So I try to be.
Yeah, you do. You're a little bit more prudy
I try
than
to be
me.
that.
But see, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Quartz is sex positive unless you're talking about sex. And then she's negative and she doesn't want to talk about it. Let's just not talk about it.
Some things can just stay between you and your partner. And maybe a couple of close friends on a Friday night after a few wines around a glass table out the back that you bought at Bunnings. I think we need to kink shame this kink into oblivion.
Okay.
Because it is fucked up. I found out about this because look, I have a really cursed algorithm on Instagram.
Same.
I watch a lot of workout videos because I like to get tips on different movements that I can do with my dumbbells or my kettlebells.
Right.
But that also feeds into like before and afters of people's weight loss and what I eat in a day. And so my explore page / my general feed, because it's not like Instagram's going to actually show me anything from the freaking people that I follow. It only shows me things from people I don't even follow. So my feed is like a really like toxic mess. It's really unhealthy recipes.
Oh, yeah.
And then the next one is like a crazy protein waffle. And then the next one is like someone who's lost 100 kilos. And then the next one is like someone who's battling anorexia. And then it's bad. It's bad. I'm actually thinking of resetting my algorithm.
How do you reset it?
I'm like, this is not a good place to be. I don't know how, but I know that you can. I know you can reset your Instagram algorithm.
Okay.
I've Googled it before. I just haven't committed yet.
Right.
Because I'm also like, some of these people come up and I'm not following them because I don't want to, but I still like that they come up.
God, you are your own worst enemy. Like everyone's blaming the algorithms, but your brain's like, I need to stop this. But then it's also like, do you?
Yeah.
do you? Though? Do you really need to stop it?
Those are some really great looking recipes.
Yeah, there's like food that if you ate, you would fucking hate yourself as soon as you ate it.
Yes.
But you still want it there, don't you? As some sort of comfort.
I follow this girl and I really like her. Her name's Alicia XL on, like, that's her handle. And I follow her because she's like morbidly obese. I think that's the correct term.
Right.
Or clinically obese. And she started at over 400 pounds, which is over a couple of 100 kilos, and she's trying to do it naturally. She's down to the 330s, and it's been amazing. And she's just really fun to watch, and she's really realistic. But I think because I'm following her, I now get more of these big gals who have done an amazing job to lose some weight. So this lady came up, and I started following her because she was one of those people who was like 600 pound life type people. I don't think she was actually on the show, but she did a video recently that explained why she got to be as big as she was.
Right, okay.
So I've got the video here from her Instagram.
I was being completely sexualized, completely fetishized. And the end goal was death. Hi, hello, how are you? My name's Caitlyn, and 2.5 years ago, I took my life back from nearly dying due to death feederism. I've had a lot more followers recently, and I felt like it was time to circle back and talk about how I got to 600 pounds. 2023, I actively gained 100 pounds while being a part of the Feederism community, especially the death Feederism community. I entered the Feederism community at around 500 pounds, and I truly believed that I was too far gone. I didn't think there was any coming back from that. And I found a community that was embracing me and loving me, attracted to me when I was literally in my most vulnerable mindset. Backtrack just a little bit further. At the beginning of 2023, I went on a grippy sock vacation. I had a 7-day stay at a psych ward, and my year just kind of spiraled after that. So like I said, I was really vulnerable, and I found this community that I completely started drowning in. I became financially supported to end my life by feeding myself to death. I had men that would send me so much money every single day to just eat, constantly eat. DoorDash gift cards, McDonald's gift cards, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. Everybody's end goal was for me to die. And I was okay with that. That was what I also wanted at that time. My story is mine. I'm not going to speak for anyone else that is in the community or speculation of anyone in the community. My life was almost taken because of that said community. I am so beyond grateful to be able to say 2.5 years later that I have completely taken back my life. I have lost 320 pounds. I am 45 days away from getting skin removal surgery. A lot of people, that's like my number one comment. How does someone get that big? Blah, 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 blah. I succeeded in what I wanted to do. I actively was gaining weight till 600 pounds. You know, that's my story, and it's my truth, and it's raw and it's vulnerable. But if I can help one person see their worth and leave that community, I'm going to keep posting, and I'm going to keep being vulnerable, and I'm going to keep being honest.
I mean,
I told you I had a really cursed algorithm.
I mean, death feederism. Obviously, we know that all different types of body types attract different types of people. So that, you know, you could be into someone who's very slender. You could be into someone who's a big girl, big boy. But I didn't ever know, and I think I'll agree with you that this kink can be shamed because it is causing harm. You're helping convince someone that their worth is tied into their weight and that their weight must kill them in the end. And how that even has a term is like, that is cool to my brain.
That's the thing that shocked me, because so I'm fascinated watching people be really honest and open about how they got to be that big, because I think there's like a belief around larger people that they just became larger people because they wanted to. And then so when they're doing these like Instagram fitness journeys and they're working out for us and they're showing us what they're eating and we're like cheering them on in the comments, eventually someone is going to be like, why did you let yourself get that fat? And it's not necessarily fair that they say that, but then people like this, and like I mentioned, I was following that Alicia girl, they're like really honest about it, and they say what it is that made them get that way. And for some people, like the other girl, she just said, you know what, I got to 200 pounds and I said, I'll deal with it if I get to 300 pounds. And then I got to 300 pounds and, well, I just thought, well, whatever, I'm already 300 pounds. I'll just be 400 pounds. If I get to 400 pounds, then I'll really deal with it. But depressed, they're unhappy, they're eating. It is what it is. And when you get that big, it's harder to feel full. So you eat more to feel full. But with this one, I just was blown away. I just can't believe there's a title for it. Death Feederism. I cannot believe there's a whole community.
How big is it?
I'm so sad to think that there's not like some sort of task force trying to bring down a community like this, because this is a place that is attempting to have people die from eating so much, and people are paying for that. When I was reading about it, I got an article from back in 2023 from someone here in Australia, in Perth, who, without kind of realizing it, had accidentally fallen into the death feederism community and had to bring herself out of it. She was already a big girl and being paid for being a big girl model. So in her opinion, she was just still in that world. Yeah. But then it becomes this thing without you meaning for it to. And like watching this woman just then, you can see how sad she must have been that she put herself in that situation.
Yeah.
And this is where I go, like, you can't then not be empathetic towards someone. I'm an able-bodied small person. I can admit as much as anyone else, I've been judgmental towards people before for the way that they look and how heavy they might be. But if you can't have empathy and like stop yourself for a second and go, wait, why am I being so judgmental? What is that person's story? When I saw this woman's story, I was like, holy shit. It's the same as like being in a cult.
That's exactly the same, just from what I'm reading here. Weight is such a tricky thing because there's so much stigma around being bigger, and then you've got communities who are like body positivity, and which I think is great to a point. But then I also, because I want people to feel good and I want people to look after themselves, but being body positive is different to me being like healthy, because you can be skinny and be the most unhealthy person in the world.
We've all got a skinny friend who eats chips for breakfast, chocolate for lunch, and drinks Diet Coke all day, or regular Coke all day, and doesn't gain anything.
Yeah. And you're like, I know what their insides would look like too, so I worry about them in the same way. But there's so much when it comes to your body and your brain. There's so much, because I've had arguments with family members who weirdly also have a few extra kilos on them. They say, it's just easy. You just try a bit harder. And you go, no, don't. Like, it's just not, it's not that easy. This world makes it harder now for that to happen because of the conveniences that are provided. And I understand that in a lot of ways that's a first world problem, but it still doesn't mean it's not a problem. And it's also not about just will. It's not about willpower.
No.
So yeah, it's so like the emotion that's involved in food and the way it's tied into us as people is so different for everybody, and can be some overlaps, but we all deal with it differently. But to have a quote unquote kink that is, and just Googling here, which is death feederism is an extreme niche subculture of feederism where individuals derive gratification, often sexual or psychological, from the intentional continuous overfeeding of someone until it leads to severe health decline or death. Like that's crazy to me. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And it also makes me think, now I understand why some people really love the mukbang version of
it's
that.
It's a sexual thing for some people.
Yeah, for some people that's a sexual thing. Now, again, if you're into watching people eat, or if you're into watching people overeat and that's your thing, that's fine. But if you're doing that in the hopes that they become seriously unwell or mentally damaged, or they physically want to kill themselves, that's so messed up. That is fucking next level broken.
I'm going to go even a step back though. Like I think we can kink shame you if you're into feederism. Like, I'm sorry. I think that even if you're not into the death aspect of it, you're into a thing, a kink. Your kink is watching someone destroy themselves from the inside out, because it is destroying someone.
No, but I think if you're watching the bare feederism in the way of like someone's just eating and like someone's being fed food, I don't think that's a problem. Like, I don't think someone eating.
But where's the line, right? So if there's an obese person,
yeah, if someone is doing it and it's not a conscious decision on that person to go, well, I need to make sure that I look after myself. I think that's I think it's a fine line, but I think I think if you're actively knowing that it's hurting someone, I think that's a problem.
Do you not think, though, like if you are watching an obese person eat and you're like paying for them to eat, and you know that this person, you're in the feederism community, not the death feederism community, right? But you're watching this person and you know this person is struggling to walk, struggling to breathe, because you can see it when you're paying to feed them. Don't you think there is like a morality issue there?
I think there's definitely a morality issue. It'd be the same as if someone who has a drug addiction and you're the one buying them drugs. And I think that's fucked up. For me, that's the same. Because for a lot of people, food is something that makes you feel good. You know what I mean? Like it is generally a drug of choice for a lot of people. And it's tricky because you need fuel and sustenance to live. And so it's not like something where you can just like go to a program and stay away from it. And you know what I mean? It's not, you can't go cold turkey, because cold turkey is sometimes delicious. It's not. It's disgusting. Who wants turkey? Calm down.
It's very dry.
It's very dry. I never understood when I had friends, when I eventually got American friends, and they were like, you guys don't eat turkeys. And we were like, why would we? Like, it's that thing at Woolies.
I think they do a lot of basting, right? Like they baste a lot
of stuff
and like shoot it in. Like you got to
shoot it up with flavor.
We probably, you got to shoot, like shove the baster in and shoot it into the breast or whatever, so that it's like juicy.
You got to keep it moist. Yeah,
I don't think Australians probably know how to make it properly. We just stick with the chicken,
beer chicken up the ass,
and shove a beer up the bum, and then. Yummy, juicy.
Look, I agree with you that it's certainly problematic in many ways. But I think if your intention is to have that person decline in health, then you're bad. Like, I think if that's if you're a part of your kink is that you're making someone decline in their health, then that's a bad kink to have, and you should be like, maybe I need to look into that, because there's obviously some power play thing that's happening with me that I need to look at.
I would friggin' love Netflix to make a documentary sitting down with someone, like with a psychologist, and figure the fuck out why anyone would want to hurt someone that they don't know by paying for them to eat food. Like, it's just such I can't even wrap my head around it. It's such a foreign concept.
It's also like there's a lot of kinks that involve a level of pain, and some people would look at it as abuse. Like, I wouldn't like that. Guys, I don't like to be spanked. That's not for me. But there's like people who take it to, I know that it's a very soft version of it in the movies, but 50 Shades of Grey, where there's like a fine line between
bondage
that
and whatever.
Yeah, pleasure and pain kind of thing. So it's like there's so much in it in the brain. I just think that obviously is a responsible use of those things, and then there's a very irresponsible use where people go to a very different nth degree. And this death feederism, for me, is pretty messed up.
I just think, like, at least with the bondage and that kind of thing, never thought I'd say that. The other person generally wants that as well. You're not like getting into that. And that's not to say the person eating isn't wanting the food, but like, are they, I guess they're expressing pleasure from eating the food, and that's enough for the person with the kink to think that they're enjoying it, even though deep down, like this woman said, she was just so unhappy and so like didn't see her life getting better. Like she thought she'd gone so far that life couldn't get better, and that fucking sucks.
Yeah, and that's so
to know
sad.
that people get to that point.
That wouldn't be everyone's story. I assume it would be quite common. But that's that fine line between why do we do things that, like, obviously she has a lot of mental struggles, which she was talking about, which led her down this path, right? And then she felt a community that opened their arms to, you know what I mean? Like, open their arms to her.
And everyone just wants to be included, right?
Yeah, and then everyone goes, fuck, I fit here. This is the same reason why people get into cults and stuff, or like even organized religion. People are lost, and then they're found in a group. And then they go, fuck, this group makes me feel really good, but they also want me to do these things. And at the start, you're like, oh, you know, maybe I'm not so great with it. But, you know, it becomes normal to you. And then maybe you start to like it because you attach the thing that you do that you eventually didn't like with positive reinforcement, the same way that we give dog treats. And yeah, it's so... Our brains are so complex. Also, it's the same way that people who, you know, get into sexual sadism and stuff like that, which, you know, dominant, submissive relationships and stuff. It all just comes down to what in our brain and what makes us tick, and or why. Like, there's a void that has to be filled or a scratch that has to be itched, and I think. Ultimately, we all have to just go, is this detrimental for me? Is this not good for me? I specifically love burgers, right? I love burgers. I wish I could eat them now and not.
He has to avoid burgers.
I have to avoid burgers because the thing is, I just don't feel good. And my whole thing is, I'm not one of those people who's just trying to fucking, you know how everyone's trying to optimize their bodies so much, like their health so much that like, I need to do this at this time and this at this time. And even before we press record, Courts and I were talking about how I need to just like curb back the weekend wines. I don't want to stop them. I'm just saying I need to like not have them on a Sunday.
No, because let's be so real here. Like, because I think people will fully understand this feeling. Okay. You and your partner on a Friday night, me and Bobby on a Friday night. You listening and your partner on a Friday night, you crack a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
You may finish the bottle between the two of you and then think, maybe one more. So then you crack a second bottle, and then on the Saturday you're like, well, we may as well finish that second bottle.
Sure.
But the second bottle was not full when you started it. So you don't really quite even get 2 full glasses. And then you're like, well, we'll just have one more glass from the third bottle. And there's even less taken from that third bottle because you need even less from that third bottle. But it does then mean on Sunday, the day you don't drink, because you don't drink from Sunday to Thursday. Sunday to Thursday.
Well, I don't.
The bottle's already open. You're not going to wait until next Friday. It'll be vinegar by then.
It might be vinegar, but
you
sure.
finish the bottle.
And I look, and that's the thing, like, I know that alcohol isn't good. You know what I mean? I think in moderation, I think red wine is probably the best for you.
On a Friday and a Saturday night, red wine, couple of glasses, no drama style. Not every night of the week, sure.
But there's like things that we put in our body that we know are not good for us, right? But we still do them because they scratch an itch, they tickle something, they fulfill a need that we have. It's just that some people have other needs. And then we just have to look at that and go, okay, am I, in the grand scheme of everything needs to be as balanced as best as possible, am I doing like bare minimum, is this okay for me?
You are speaking to me as if you saw how many Tim Tams I ate yesterday, and I'm feeling fairly judged.
And you're currently single parenting. So to me, you're allowed to have as many fucking Tim Tams as you want. Because
Yes.
that. And if mummy wants to have wine on a Monday, which she did, she absolutely can.
The Sunday bottle was open.
You know,
we were
I get
in the
it.
same
I get it.
predicament.
The predicament. It's just a never-ending cycle. So I totally get it. But here's what I don't think death feederism. I think if you're causing pain to another person and or causing hurt to someone to the point where your kink is that they're going to die, I think that's a problem. I think that's a huge fucking problem.
The community needs to be fucking shut down. Like, I genuinely think there needs to be some sort of. I don't know how that works.
Depends how big the subculture is. It might not be a huge subculture. I'm not saying that doesn't mean those people's lives aren't important, but unless it's on the radar of authorities or something terrible happens, because what happens? This person eventually dies, and they die of health complications related to obesity. And then they just go.
And then they go, well, that was going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's also the same as
that's so sad.
People who might be in sex work and they're trapped in sex work because of the drug addiction that they have, and then they end up dying from a drug addiction. And then you go, but we haven't really figured out exactly how this cycle started. So we're fucking humans. We're so broken in so many ways.
Oh, yeah.
And the people who have their shit together the most are the ones that are probably the most broken. And because they seem like they've got it together. Well, that's what I like to tell myself. When I see someone who's really got their life figured out, I'm like, nah, they probably fucked up at home. Anyone else? Anyone else tell themselves that? No? Okay, just me. I would love to direct you to another video like this one on our channel, but I don't think that there's one exists. I think this is new ground.
It was a weird topic,
no, it's fine. But what I would like to invite you to watch is something called the Alpine Breakup. I think from memory, that's what it was called. And it's also a very dark thing.
Alpine divorce.
Yeah, a very dark thing.
I do bring the dark things.
Yeah, I don't know. Mummy might need another Tim Tam before we press record again.